The year was 1984. Richland, a small town nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows, exuded an air of tranquility. Children chased fireflies as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows on the manicured lawns. The Peterson family, known for their warmth and infectious laughter, embodied the essence of Richland. Tom, the father, was a respected carpenter, his calloused hands crafting furniture that graced many homes. His wife, Mary, a woman with eyes as blue as the summer sky, volunteered at the local library, her gentle nature endearing her to all. Their daughter, Lisa, a bright-eyed 10-year-old with a cascade of auburn hair, was the apple of their eye. The Petersons resided in a cozy cottage on Oakwood Drive, its white picket fence symbolizing the idyllic life they cherished. Life in Richland moved at a leisurely pace, where time seemed to amble rather than race. July 4th dawned bright and celebratory. The annual town picnic, a cherished tradition, was in full swing at the heart of Richland. The air vibrated with the joyous strains of a local band as children skipped about, their faces smeared with melting ice cream. Laughter echoed through the park, mingling with the tantalizing aroma of grilled hamburgers and hot dogs. Amidst the revelry, however, a sinister shadow lurked, unnoticed and unimagined. As dusk began to settle, casting long shadows across the park, Mary realized Lisa was nowhere to be seen. Panic, sharp and cold, clutched at her heart. Frantic calls to friends and neighbors yielded nothing but growing fear. The festive atmosphere evaporated, replaced by a chilling wave of dread as the search for Lisa began. Volunteers fanned out across the park, their faces etched with worry, their voices calling her name into the growing darkness. Each unanswered call amplified the fear, turning the familiar park into a labyrinth of uncertainty. The police arrived, sirens wailing, their presence shattering the remnants of the joyous afternoon. Detective Ben Parker, a seasoned officer with a world weariness etched into his face, took charge of the investigation. Days melted into weeks, each one an agonizing testament to Lisa's absence. The once vibrant hues of summer seemed to fade, mirroring the town's dwindling hope. Fear, once a whisper, now roared, a monstrous shadow that stretched across Richland, seeping into every nook and cranny. The laughter of children was replaced by hushed whispers, their games now confined to the safety of their backyards. The once familiar streets now seemed to echo with Lisa's absence, each empty corner a painful reminder of the mystery that consumed them. The police, despite tireless efforts, seemed to be hitting dead end after dead end. Frustration gnawed at Detective Parker, the case becoming a constant weight on his shoulders. The lack of concrete leads gnawed at the edges of his resolve, fueling a burning desire to bring the perpetrator to justice. Theories ran rampant through the community, each one more outlandish than the last. The fabric of their community, once so tightly woven, began to fray at the edges, fear threatening to unravel the very essence of Richland. Weeks bled into months, and the file on Lisa Peterson's disappearance grew thicker, a testament to the tireless efforts of the newly formed task force. Detective Parker, his eyes now permanently shadowed with fatigue, pored over every detail, every shred of evidence, desperate for a breakthrough. The weight of the case, the anguish in the eyes of Lisa's parents, fueled his determination, turning the investigation into a personal crusade. They chased every lead, no matter how insignificant it seemed, their pursuit relentless. They scoured the woods surrounding Richland, their flashlights cutting through the darkness, hoping against hope for a sign, a clue, anything that could bring them closer to the truth. The silence of the forest, however, was a constant reminder of their lack of progress, a deafening echo of their failure. They had become the guardians of hope, the last bastion of faith for a community clinging to the belief that their beloved Lisa would be found. Yet, with each passing day, the hope dwindled, replaced by a chilling resignation that the case might remain unsolved. A seemingly insignificant detail, a discrepancy in a witness statement, a fleeting memory rekindled, provided a much-needed break in the case. A blue car, seen speeding away from the park on the day of Lisa's disappearance, became their focal point. Hope, fragile yet tenacious, flickered back to life, rekindling the spirits of the task force. The description of the car, though vague, was a beacon in the darkness, a tangible lead to pursue after months of agonizing dead ends. The community, reinvigorated by this new development, rallied behind the police. Flyers with the car's description blanketed the town, a silent army of paper soldiers in the fight for justice. The local newspaper, once filled with stories of despair, now carried a message of hope, urging anyone with information to come forward. The investigation picked up pace, fueled by renewed hope and a shared determination to find Lisa. Months after Lisa Peterson's disappearance, the news that shook Richland to its core arrived like a bolt from the blue. The arrest of Arthur Miller, a quiet, unassuming mechanic who lived on the outskirts of town, sent shockwaves through the community. The man they had seen at the grocery store, the one who fixed their cars, the one who blended seamlessly into the fabric of their lives, stood accused of the unthinkable. The trial was a media frenzy, the courtroom packed with reporters, curious onlookers, and anxious residents of Richland. The prosecution, led by the formidable District Attorney Sarah Thompson, presented a compelling case, weaving a tapestry of circumstantial evidence that pointed towards Miller's guilt. They presented the blue car, found abandoned in his garage, its trunk concealing fibers matching Lisa's clothing. They presented witnesses who placed him at the park on the day of the disappearance, their testimonies adding weight to the growing mountain of evidence against him. The defense, led by the shrewd and experienced Robert Daniels, argued for Miller's innocence, painting him as a victim of circumstance, a lonely man caught in the web of a flawed investigation. Arthur Miller, throughout the trial, remained an enigma, his demeanor a disconcerting blend of quiet stoicism and fleeting moments of barely suppressed rage. The prosecution painted him as a man leading a double life, a wolf in sheep's clothing. They presented evidence of a troubled past, a history of violence against women, hidden beneath the veneer of his unassuming persona. They argued that his quiet demeanor was a carefully crafted facade, a mask concealing a dark and predatory nature. The defense countered this portrayal by presenting Miller as a solitary figure, ostracized by society due to his eccentricities, an easy target for a community desperate for answers. They presented him as a man with a deep love for his late mother, his only companion in a world that shunned him. They brought forth his colleagues, his neighbors, people who knew him as a harmless eccentric, a man incapable of the heinous crime he was accused of. The jury, their faces reflecting the gravity of the case, listened intently as both sides presented their arguments. After days of deliberation, the jury returned with a verdict: guilty. The courtroom erupted in a cacophony of gasps, sobs, and relieved whispers. For the Peterson family, the verdict brought a bittersweet closure, a confirmation of their suspicions, but a hollow victory in the face of their irreplaceable loss. The pain of losing Lisa, the years of agonizing uncertainty, remained etched deep within their hearts. Justice served, but the wound remained, a constant ache that time could never fully heal. Arthur Miller, his face betraying no emotion, received his sentence life imprisonment. The community, divided by doubt and suspicion, struggled to come to terms with the verdict. Some found solace in the belief that justice had been served, while others grappled with lingering doubts, haunted by the possibility of a miscarriage of justice. The shadow of the Richland serial killer case continued to loom large over the town, a chilling reminder of their vulnerability. The once idyllic community, forever marked by the tragedy, grappled with the aftermath, their sense of security irrevocably shattered. The laughter of children playing in the park now carried a note of caution, their parents' watchful eyes a constant reminder of the darkness that had visited their town. The case brought to light the importance of vigilance, of safeguarding their children, and of never taking safety for granted. The once familiar faces of their neighbors now held a hint of uncertainty, a reminder that monsters could lurk beneath the most ordinary exteriors. The community, once united by trust, now grappled with the complexities of suspicion, their innocence lost in the wake of the tragedy. The scars of the case, though invisible to the naked eye, ran deep, etched into the very fabric of their lives. Richland, in the years that followed, underwent a transformation. The Richland serial killer case, a chilling chapter in the town's history, served as a stark reminder that evil could lurk even in the most unexpected places. It shattered the illusion of safety, forcing them to confront the darkness that existed not just in the world around them, but also within the human heart. The case, though deeply unsettling, became a catalyst for growth, prompting them to reevaluate their priorities, their values, and their sense of community. In the years that followed, Richland emerged from the shadow of the tragedy, stronger and more united than ever before. They learned the importance of vigilance, of community, and of never forgetting the lessons etched in the heart of their town. The memory of Lisa Peterson, though tinged with sorrow, became a symbol of their resilience, a reminder of the strength they found in the face of adversity. They honored her memory by cherishing their loved ones, by looking out for one another, and by striving to create a safer, more compassionate world. The story of Richland serves as a poignant reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can endure.